Yeah, she's getting better out there. Actually, we're above freezing right now. I was just out on the front sidewalk sweeping up the grit and putting it where it had melted, where the snow had melted, and putting it back in the bucket for the next one. That's the one constant thing about living here. You know, there's going to be more snow. But anyhow, I did have to. Last night, somebody made in another video on a channel I subscribe to, kind of made a comment about broken pitchfork handles. And yeah, I broke a few in my life. Here, I guess I need to shrink you down a little so you get a. There we go. There we go. Anyhow, I don't use this one for much of anything. Once in a great while, I'll loosen up soil in the garden with that. I don't have a tractor here in town, so I can't show you how we used to stick the bent tines into the drawbar and straighten them. And every once in a while, you'd get a ting and you'd lose a tine. A lot of times, that's a 4-tine fork. That was what we would use in the barn for removing the manure. Now this one, my eldest brother, well, I bought this in Iowa for $5 many years ago, but this one gets used quite a bit. You can tell by the shine. And but I'll use it in the fall for picking up the stems from the locust. I'll rake them into a pile and I'll shovel them with this. I kind of like this one, but I used it a lot when we were cleaning up at my eldest brother's. It was more of a hobby farm. I think it was 6 acres, but we were cleaning up brush piles and stuff, and I shined it up good then, but I do still use it. I kind of, yeah, I got forks. And of course, there goes the spur handle. I got the potato fork, you know, because we haven't grown potatoes here in many years, just because you can buy them cheap enough and they do take up a lot of garden space. There's the outfit somewhere, I think Arkansas, they make cheap handles. You know, I don't know, I know it was less than $10. You notice it hasn't been treated. These are the ones you got to use the linseed oil on. You got to oil them just so that they, for resilience and for preservative. And of course, I keep a 5-tine fork. Now this one gets used every spring, and there again, I miss not having a tractor drawbar in town. But this one I use for digging the quackgrass rut, and that's got the old style handle. Actually, I like that. You know, it gets thin on top. The aftermarket, the cheap ones you can buy now, they are thick. I'm not even sure it's going to look. I think it is a hardwood, but I don't know what kind of hardwood. I think it might be ash. The fork deal, I don't know. More junk. Anyhow, the 3-tine fork, which this one I did use a very little at shows when I used to volunteer to pitch bundles for the thrashing. This is an aftermarket handle too, but you can tell I oil this one every now and then. But the 3-tine fork, we always figured that was for loose hay. I don't know why, but it worked a lot better than the 4-tine fork. Now, I've been told when the professional thrashers, years ago when the threshing machines went around, the separators, whatever you want to call them, they used the 2-tine fork. It was easier to work with a 2-tine fork. It wouldn't have this middle tine. You know, it'd just be a hoop here, a U here. I've been told that at the end of the day you weren't quite as worn out, but it was a skill to fork a bundle and balance it. Now, if you ever watch the guys that know what they're doing, that feed the separator, they will always feed the bundle in head first. Just like the header on the combine cuts one way and all the heads hit the separator, hit the machine first. Now you can always tell when you got new help, guys that never done it before, because the bundles will go in sideways, backwards. You don't get the yield out of that. Yeah, a lot ends up in the straw pile. And one more. Sometime years ago, I did some trading with an old elderly friend. He's still alive, but I bet he doesn't even remember this. I figured the overall deal was about a $10 trade. I just liked that. It was a silage fork. I do have a silage fork here, a regular silage fork, but I liked the sturdy, thick tines on this. I mean, they are thick. But what really blew my mind, that is, see if I can straighten out. I got to get a different angle so you can see what I'm seeing. You see that? It's a little bit over 3/4 of an inch for the tang. That's a thick tang. I mean, I think this fork was made for gorillas to work with. I mean, my brothers and I, we made a good crew, but I don't think Dad needed to buy stuff this thick for us. I took this in trade. There was some other stuff. I figured it was about, what I had was worth about $10, and if the guy wanted it, he gave me a bunch of stuff, and I did okay. I did get a John Deere 2-cylinder mag out of the deal, which it was hot, but it needed some work. So I figured it was worth about $10. So that's what I figured. That's what I figured on that deal. I just thought that was cool. But anyhow, yeah, I do take direction. There was another channel the other night speaking of broken fork handles, and yeah, I broke one or two in my life. Dad used to threaten to dock my pay, which happened to be 50 cents or $1 whenever he was in a good mood. Well, that's enough for today. Thank you.